Hey, what is up guys, I'm KBHD here, and welcome to your first look at Samsung's newest, biggest flagship phone, the Galaxy Note 9. Now, a lot of what we're looking at here has been leaked in some way or another, but that's just how it goes. But now we're just making everything official, plus there's a couple things we definitely didn't see coming, so this is everything you need to know about this phone, plus some extra thoughts I've had. So right off the bat, the new design, it isn't really that new. It's kind of just what we expected. It's the same glass and metal boxy design we're used to from the previous Notes from Samsung. Curved edges, infinity display, and all that. And there's two new colors, this lavender purplish kind of color and a blue, which I think I'm more of a fan of personally. I'll go with that blue. And then the back is kind of scrambled a bit. This is what we were concerned about from the leaks, but all the updates from the Galaxy S9 are here. So dual cameras. The main one now has that variable aperture lens like the S9 between f1.5 and 2.4 and all the heart rate sensor and all that stuff from the S9. And it's looking kind of like a face here with this fingerprint reader. The only real flaw basically I see with this design is still, because this phone is so big, the fingerprint reader isn't easily reachable on the back of the phone for everyone. I mean, I can reach it, but not everyone's going to. Plus it's a little bit smaller. But other than that, I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the Galaxy Note 9, again, looks like the previous Galaxy Note. On the inside, it is a big-time spec bump for 2018. Snapdragon 845, and then there's two configs. The baseline version has 128 gigs of storage with 6 gigs of RAM. And the other is a 512 gig with 8 gigs of RAM. That is insane. That's over a half a terabyte of flash storage in your pocket. Plus, it's still keeping the micro SD card slot, so you can drop in another 512 gig micro SD card if you want, and then you literally have a terabyte in your pocket. And then Samsung is focusing on performance a little bit more with a couple more gaming phone-inspired features. So it's not a full-on gaming phone, but you've probably heard about Fortnite coming to Samsung Android phones. Along with the new specs, they've talked about also a water carbon fiber cooling system with a larger heat spreader. And this is all inside the phone, but basically from this, I expect this to be one of the best phones to game on. Even if it's not a gaming phone, you get that screen and you get that performance. And then of course, since it's a Note, you also have some S Pen improvements. This year, the S Pen actually gets Bluetooth Low Energy, which means two main things. One, you can now use it as a remote control. So the button on the side of this stylus can be mapped to do a bunch of different things based on what app you're in. So a long press can do one thing, a single press can do another thing, a double press something else. I like that it's customizable and that it's remappable. So there's different things for Spotify or the gallery or wherever you are. So for example, out of the box, a long press on the remote will launch the camera, and then you can double tap it to switch it to the selfie camera and single tap to take a photo. So that's pretty good. I mean, I can imagine people coming up with interesting macros in certain apps to take the most advantage of this, or to just take the coolest, most discreet photo of themselves while they hide the S Pen in their hand. But then, yeah, the other thing is, number two, since it's Bluetooth Low Energy, that means you have to keep it charged. That does take battery power. But Samsung's developed what they're calling a supercapacitor in this stylus, which is really just saying a quickly charging battery. It charges by plugging into the phone where it stores, and you can add 30 minutes of charge in 40 seconds of being plugged in. So that's pretty dope. And also worth noting, this phone isn't much thicker at all than it used to be, but it's now packing a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Assuming it doesn't explode, that's huge. A huge screen like this needs a huge battery, so I'm happy to see Samsung confidently pushing that envelope again. And then there's a new AI-powered scene optimizer in the camera that now recognizes the scene it's taking a photo of and maybe boost certain colors or contrast wherever based on what it thinks you'll want. But pretty sure I'm going to turn that off just like I do on every other phone I've tried it on this year. A couple other new modems for faster LTE on some markets, and that's really it. The funny thing is, I've seen a lot of people, especially during the leaks, saying this is like a boring incremental upgrade, that it's lame, it's kind of ugly, that they're probably going to skip this phone, that it's basically the same as last year. And I think if you said that, you'd be severely underrating this phone. I mean, you might be kind of right. It is similar, especially in the overall design, to last year. But last year was a really good phone, one of the best overall you could get. And then to get a real meaningful upgrade from that a year later is kind of amazing. I mean, okay, on paper, listen to this. Just listen to the spec sheet and tell me it doesn't sound like an incredible phone, like something you might have thought of like a dream phone a couple years ago. Ready? 6.4-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED display, super bright, super vibrant, honestly probably the best screen in any phone. Snapdragon 845, half a terabyte of internal memory, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a micro SD card slot in case you want more storage, IP68 water resistance, fast wireless charging, fast wired charging with USB Type-C, a headphone jack, 4,000 milliamp hour battery alongside a stylus in the phone, iris scanner, fingerprint scanner, heart rate sensor, dual cameras, both of them optically image stabilized and one of them with variable dual aperture, and the whole camera module doesn't protrude, and then the whole thing being wrapped between thin bezels, no notch, metal rails, clicky buttons, and a solid build. That is a damn good phone. From the first impression, I'm pumped to use it and give it my shot in the pocket when it comes out. Give it a verdict on things like battery life, camera quality, software feel, how these things go. But overall, let me know what you think. Is Note 9 your next phone like it might be mine? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one.